Greetings, travelers. Have I got one for you today? Today, we are going to cross over into the shadowy realm of haunted bridges. And we're going to be visiting the ones in my home state of North Carolina. And these bridges are filled with history. And where there's history, there are whispers of restless spirits and hauntings. It's just the nature of things. This is how Carrie and I and Erica and I and everybody, when we do travels, we wind up finding more and more than we expected. We were at an event this weekend. We always look for exciting things on my infinite map of crazy locations and unique stories. And then we go to these locations because we're close to them for these events. And then while we're there, we find out, is it a place you can visit? Is it actually there, really as spooky as it seems? And then we ask the locals, hey, what do you know about this? What do you know about that? And do you know anybody who experienced this and everything? And it winds up being how we write the books, how we do the podcast, how we do all the things. It's just amazing how often this turns into one thing or another. So today, we're going to go to three of this state's most notorious haunted bridges. We're going to start with the one we stumbled on this one called the Bostian Bridge. Then we'll head over to probably the most famous one in one way, Lydia's Bridge. And then we'll end with the most famous one that we put in our book, Helen's Bridge. So we begin our journey in Catawba County or Catawba County. There's a lot of different ways to pronounce this. A lot of things in North Carolina are based on Cherokee. A lot of them are based on settler pronunciations of Cherokee words. So forgive me if you think I'm butchering things. It's just the way it is around here. So this bridge is steeped in tragedy, the Bostian Bridge. Now, this is not your typical ghost story in any shape or form. It's a place where the veil between worlds is definitely thin. So, the haunting of the Bostian Bridge is linked with this horrific train derailment that occurred on August 27th, 1891. A Southern Railway train crosses bridge number 60, and something goes wrong and it plummets into the creek below. And it kills an estimated 23 people. Now, the exact number is debated because it adds another layer of mystery to this. So it's about 2 a.m. The train has just left the Statesville station and it reached this stone and brick trestle known as the Bostian Bridge. And the conductor is trying to make up time because they started a little late and he wanted to get up that hill, so he gunned it. And the train reaches the trestle, and without warning, the earth just seems to vanish between them. And the train buckled and bucked, and it derails, and it's 60 feet down into the creek below. We're talking twisted iron, shattered wood, and screams that are being swallowed by rushing water. Now, we do know 100% 22 die in this. We have witnesses. We have people running there to try to help. There is no hospital in Statesville. So people are put in a tobacco farm barn. People are put in houses as the wounded and the dead. And they're just trying to contact people and trying to figure out what happened. Now, the story goes that Southern Railroad said, hey, we just fixed that. So somebody had to sabotage this. And so they run out and they try to arrest a bunch of people who could have done this. They wind up settling on two guys who were already in jail, who supposedly their inmates overheard them confessing so that the roommates would get a little lighter sentence. Everybody's convinced this was just a quick way to solve the case so that nobody would blame Southern Railroad for faulty maintenance. But yeah. So now the exact moment of impact, everybody says, was 3 a.m. And that's because that's when the engineer's gold watch stopped. So this media frenzy is going on. Is it rotten ties? Is it corporate neglect and all this? So legends, never die, as we know. So it begins every year on the anniversary of the crash. Locals whisper that they can hear the ghost train, phantom locomotive running across that bridge at 3 a.m., and it vanishes with a spectral reenactment of its plunge. And they hear clanging metal, moans of the dying, and they see a uniformed man with a gold watch asking for the time. And the ghost with the gold watch is probably one of the most chilling figures in this legend. So, according to local lore, he is believed to be Hugh K. Linster, the baggage master aboard train number 9 when it derailed. And he was one of the 22 victims. His spirit is said to linger there. And what they do is they see this uniformed railway employee pacing the bridge or kind of standing near the tracks. And he's often described as holding or checking a gold pocket watch. Now, he's not the engineer because the engineer's pocket watch is still there. But what they say with this one is that his pocket watch is solid gold, where he appears black and white or faded or translucent, but the watch appears real. His watch was never found in the wreckage. So the first sighting of this ghost was also on that first anniversary in 1892, according to legend. And a lot of paranormal enthusiasts try to gather on the bridge every August 27th, which is just, coming up when I recorded this, but it'll be tomorrow night when this airs. So people say it appears 3 a.m. So now, here's where this all comes from. Because basically, in the early morning hours of August 27th, this time is in the 1940s, a woman was stranded near the Bostian Bridge. Her car broke down on this lonely stretch of road. And the night was heavy with silence. And she'd hear leaves and the ticking of her dashboard clock. And then she hears it, the train. Headlight blazing, she sees it across the railroad bridge. And she watches in horror as it crashes, just as the stories she had heard. And the cars twist in midair, sound is deafening. And again, she hears people crying out. So she runs towards the wreckage trying to help. And then she looks down and it's gone. And then headlights appeared behind her, and it was her husband came up to pick her up. And she screamed for him to help. When he reaches the edge of the bridge, there's nothing there. No wreckage, no train, no sound, just that creek flowing beneath the bridge. So she witnessed the phantom wreck, and that's when she found out it was the anniversary. Now, the story's been popularized in retellings pretty much by S.E. Schlosser and some other local North Carolina ghost lore people. So the point is that in 2010, the legend got a new victim. Because basically a group of around a dozen ghost hunters gathered on the bridge in the early hours of August 27th, hoping to glimpse the spectral train. And one of them said, "Oh, he saw the orb. He saw a bright light." And they heard the train, but it wasn't a ghost. It was a Norfolk Southern Freightliner, and it was coming down the track. The group scattered, but it was too late. Christopher Kaiser, 29, he was crushed to death as he pushed one of the other ghost explorers off the bridge. But she got injured very badly. She had to be airlifted to a hospital, but he did not survive. And so you died in pursuit of a legend. You were trespassing on train tracks. Do not do that. The legend has claimed another person. I mean, this bridge was an Industrial Revolution bridge, and now it's remembered for death and more death. So if you go there in August, you can go down the little dirt road and gravel road up to the bridge. Don't go on the bridge. Don't go on the tracks. You can just sit right there and be just like the woman in the 90s. Sit in your car or just sit on your car and watch for trains, listen for trains, document. But whatever you do, don't go on the tracks. You're just asking for trouble. We'll talk about the next two bridges after the break. Okay, so next we go to Guilford County. This is the legend of Lydia's Bridge. This is one that's so famous it has its own sign, right? So this one's on Old Thomasville Road, and this bridge is the center of our classic vanishing hitchhiker ghosts. So the tale goes that a woman named Lydia was on her way home from a dance, maybe a date, and this would be early mid 20th century, somewhere between the 20s and the 50s. Accounts are varied. So the core of the story is basically the same. She was in a crash on or near the bridge and she was killed. Now, it's reported that on dark nights, a young woman, a lady in white dress, can be seen walking along the old Thomasville Road near the bridge. Drivers who stop to offer a ride will hear her ask, "Please take me home." She'll give an address, but it's vague. And when you turn around to ask, she'll just say, "It's over that way." And then people will drive, and then she'll go, "This is it." And when they turn, she's gone. So sometimes all that remains is that chill scent of flowers, sometimes damp in the chair. Documentation on this is scarce. It's just a famous local hitchhiking ghost story. The tale of Lydia's Bridge has been passed down through generation to generation, and everybody we talk to there has somebody who has encountered Lydia. Almost never themselves, but they know somebody who knows somebody, that sort of thing. And it just adds to that bridge's ghostly mystique. And I don't know if it's a local legend or if it's a lady in white type creature that's inhabiting the bridge, some sort of fearmonger type thing. Lydia's Bridge is just a place that kind of gives you pause because it's there. And so many people have seen it or claim to have seen it and all that. So I don't know what to make of that one because I can't find any reference. There was a car wreck with a lady named Lydia kind of near the bridge in the 1960s. She did die, but I don't know what else to tell you on that one. So our final bridge is in Buncombe County, and that's right in the heart of Asheville, and that's Helen's Bridge. And it is right off the Elk Mountain Scenic Highway, and it is a stone arc bridge, and it's got a few tales to it. So it mostly speaks about a woman named Helen who lived or worked in the nearby Zealandia Mansion in the early 20th century. Classic story of either heartbreak or tragedy that has befallen her. The most common version of the story says that her daughter died in a fire at the mansion, and that overwhelmed by grief, she took her own life by hanging herself from the bridge. And that's the most common version. Some is she was a spurned lover who had had a baby out of wedlock with the master of the house, and that she had to throw herself off the bridge with the baby. There's lots of variants of this. So when you go there now, visitors to Helen Bridge report a number of unsettling experiences. Some claim that if you park your car under the bridge and turn off the engine, it's going to stall and never start again. Some people say if you take a bike out onto the bridge, it'll break. Others reported seeing a ghostly figure believed to be Helen wandering the bridge or hearing her cry being carried on the wind. There are some other odd things with this. Some people say there's like a phantom dog near the bridge. Perhaps some people say the dogs were chasing her. I don't know. It's very bizarre on that. So we didn't put that in the book because it was just very vague. But when you go there, you will feel this oppressive atmosphere, this lingering sadness. The bridge is kind of isolated up the hill. It is pretty much surrounded by woods. You cannot drive across this bridge. You cannot go to this bridge except on foot. There's a small little parking area right next to the bridge, but it's mostly so people can walk their dogs in the area. It's interesting. I will say that was one of the ones that Erica got a bad vibe at, and we had to bail pretty quick. We have some beautiful pictures of that in the new book. Not Erica, but of the bridge. So these haunted bridges, man, they give you a glimpse into the history of the state. We went to a covered bridge called the Bunker Hill Covered Bridge out near Charlotte. It's not too far from the Bostian and some of the other bridges. It's a great little covered bridge, one of only two left in the state. And it has a ghost story too about British soldiers marching troops across the bridge. That bridge wasn't around when the Revolutionary War was occurring or even the War of 1812. So I don't know why that's a ghost story there. There's some stuff like that that I'm like, okay, that's folklore blending into just, oh, it's a creepy covered bridge. So I don't know why bridges get all this magic. The lady in white phenomena around bridges is a common occurrence. I mean, we've got that down in Florida. We got that all over the place. We've got one in California that does that. Don't even get me started on crybaby bridges. There's so many crybaby bridges. But anyway, I would just say you can go visit the Bostian Bridge tomorrow night on the 27th, August 27th, 3 a.m. Don't go on the tracks. Never go on train tracks, ever. They are bad. And, you know, listen for the train. Go to Lydia's Bridge and look for the lady in white. Go to Helen's Bridge and see if you can hear the sadness of the crying or see the dark figure. Please explore these locations responsibly and respectfully. Remember, private property should be observed across from Helen's Bridge, and the train tracks are private property. Lydia's Bridge, there's places to stop. You can take a picture with the sign that describes the myth and everything there, or is it describing history? So I hope you enjoy this. A lot of cool folklore, a lot of cool places to visit for your travels. And all I've got to say about this is if you've got a story about the bridges or any bridges you want us to discuss, send them in. Patreon people, thank you so much for keeping us afloat. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please tell your friends. We want to hear more stories. We want to find out more places to go and fun things to do. Check out our website to see where we're going to be next. And as always, when you're crossing bridges and you see that hitchhiking figure, take her picture before you let her in the car. And we'll see you on the other side.